continue to reclaim.
The Welsh Rally Championship continues now with a highlight for many of the crews in the season, the Nicky Grist stages. Some iconic stages and of course all the names, faces and cars you've come to expect from this championship. Enjoy all the action here on Special Stage. So Jamie Anderson leads the crews away in his Mitsubishi World Rally car. Bob Keane and Carl Simmons make it 3 World Rally cars at the top of the entry. And what an entry. They're followed by a chasing pack of Group N and Class 8 crews all looking for some good points as we cross into the second half of the season. The early lead would go to Jamie Anderson and John Scott, slowly getting into the groove again, but feeling that the car was very loose at the back, which could have been a problem or just a reflection on the conditions. Jamie, you're showing some good pace out there.
Yeah, I think we're slowly getting there. We seem to be running behind the rest at the minute. We're just having problems, I think, but we'll get there eventually.
Unfortunately for Carl and Guy Simmons, it will be an early retirement, the pair having an unlucky spin in stage 2, losing some time early in the stage, but worse would be to come in stage 4 as the pair retire with a fire in the Subaru WRC. A great start to the event though for Dylan Davies and Leon Williams. They make it to the end of stage 4 with second place, leading the way in Class 8. The feeling in the car was good and they were increasing the pace as the season went along to go along with their consistency. We saw some nice sideways moments in the first couple. Going well?
Yeah, it's fine, yeah, doing okay. Car's handling well for the first time, so quite confident today, to be honest.
It's all about the finish and the consistency for you so far this year, isn't it?
Yeah, so far, but hopefully we can pick the pace up a bit today.
Yeah.
Get a bit quicker.
Bob Keane and Andy Bull start the day with a good run, but it almost came to an end on stage 4 when the pair spin midway into the stage, looking to get away with just a little bit of lost time. They end the morning with third place though, second in the class.
Fuck, I can't see a thing.
It's just a junction just behind us. Yeah. Turn right 1 in. And right 4.
Bob, you got some good pace out there.
Yeah, we were going great. This one we had a massive spin, 360 degree, had to go back up the road to turn round, which cost us some time, but the first 3 were okay. Few issues like everybody has, but yeah, tricky stages, the surface is all over the place.
Keep on it. Roland Llewellyn and Jamie Edwards reached the end of stage 4 in the lead of the Group N battle, and they were flying flat out from start to finish, putting the pressure on the WRC cars ahead. I can't tell if you look happy or you look tired. Or stressed.
Tired? No, I think we were joint first in Group N with Norton going into that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what the time we pushed bloody hard in it.
In there, though, isn't it?
Oh, the battle's tremendous. Yeah, really good.
What are your plans for the rest? Keep
flat out. There's only one speed here. Absolutely flat out.
With a new intercom fitted, Peter Stevenson and John Connor were overcoming their intercom problems that had been present in the early part of the season. Things were going well here at the Nicky Grist stages as the pair lie in 5th. We've got gaffer tape, that's just for the sun, I hope.
It is, yes, it's rather a bit low sun today. Yeah, it's fine, car's going good. Yeah.
It's good stages, aren't they?
It is, yeah, new intercom, I can hear the co-driver a lot better with that. Thank you.
There would be more retirements as the day went on. Jamie Dukes and Dave Williams becoming the next to go out. They go off the road in stage 3 and would retire with a lack of oil pressure after leading the way in the 2-wheel drive crews. Paul Davey and Roger Allen would be second of the Group N crews this weekend, reaching the end of stage 4 with 6th place overall. They too were feeling like there was something wrong with the car, but it could just be the tricky conditions. Big sigh as you pull into the stage 4.
Yeah, no, we got something wrong at the back. I don't know if the diff or something's gone. It's just snapping everywhere. Just not working.
Everyone's saying that. Either everyone's diffs have gone or it's very loose.
Yeah, well, it could be. It could be just be the conditions. Yeah, I mean the tyres. You know, maybe the tyres are a bit too much, but
we'll let you check it out at the management.
We'll have a look.
Cheers.
Yeah.
No problems to report for Woodgutting and Bob Stocko. The pair lying second in Class 8 at this stage, as well as 7th overall. Loving the stages as well here this weekend. Woog, there's some pretty good pace out there.
It is. I mean, it's like who's who rallying out there today, but I'm glad to be at the tail end of it. Yeah, it's lovely stages, lovely conditions, really interesting. It's well organised. You can't get a better event at the moment in the UK.
No problems for Martin and Dawn England either. A good feeling about the car this time out and not having any problems to report. It's always a good way to go. The pair line 8th overall, 3rd of the N4 runners. What's your first 4 been?
Okay, uneventful, luckily. Nice to be back out in the car. Obviously we're in Group N this time. Had a few issues with the engine, but no, it was all going well. No problems to report at the moment, Paul.
Check that front because you've got water coming out.
Oh, cheers.
And just behind England in the N4 class battle was Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey. The pair also having no problems to report in their 9th place overall. How's the pace out there, Simon?
Very quick indeed. That one, the stage before was very flat and quick, as you said. In there, a little bit more gnarly. The rain's starting to come down, so got to be a little bit careful in the corners. But no, really enjoying it.
And rounding out the top 10, it will be the Class 6 lead for John Ballinger and Mike Wilding. Problems with the handling at the back of the car were causing a little concern, but they were going well despite this. I bet these stages have seen a few mantas in their time.
Yeah, just a 1 or 2 like. But no, we bent the rear panhard rod, so whole car's been going along like this since the first stage, like so.
Oh, good.
Not good, but we'll keep battling. Good. All right, catch you again.
And just outside the top 10, it will be the Class 3 lead for Dave and Freddie Brick. The pair pushing hard to take that lead. A few moments along the way, just showing how much they were trying. Talking of trying, Kit and Tim Lee returned to the stages after some work on the car with M Sport. Things were going well this time out, after of course reliability problems. For a change, there were no issues to report at this stage. With Ballinger out in front in the class, it will be 2nd place for Gary Smith and Andy Wynn. The Class 6 pair lying in 13th overall on the results as well in the Escort. Craig Golder and John Kane were not having the best of days, it had to be said. A cracked manifold losing them some time, but the pair still managed 3rd in Class 8 and 14th overall at this stage. David Lloyd Roberts and Di Jones were having a small problem. They caught a car in stage 4 and had to slow right down in its dust. It wasn't stopping the pace though, with 1st in Class 5 at this stage. James Hutchings and James Hurd meanwhile have a good start to the rally. No problems with the car as the pair lie 2nd in Class 4 at this stage. And for Kieran Darrington and Pamela Hilton, it will be 17th overall after a steady start. The pair taking it easy to start with, but having a push now. 2nd in class for the pair now. And it will be 1 position back for Heffin Lloyd Davies and Emir Hall. The pair lying 3rd in Class 3 at this stage and 18th overall in the Corsa. Tony Williams and Karen Phelps make a steady start. Happy with the pace, but wanting to push a little more and get some more pace on the cards as the day went on. 3rd in Class 6 for now and 19th on the leaderboard. John Baker and Chris Whittle, meanwhile, were trying to find the rhythm in the stages. The first 3 not as good as they'd hoped, but by stage 4 they were on top of things and settling into 2nd place in Class 5. Jonathan Jones and Jez Rogers were sat a little way back from the class leaders, but things were going okay. 3rd in Class 4 at this stage and 25th overall. And with just the 1 crew in Class 1, it will be no problems in the lead there for Thomas Bayliss and Simon John Rogers in the Micra. So at the end of the morning stages, the results look like this. On to the afternoon stages then, and no change in the Class 1 results, of course. Thomas Bayliss and Simon Rogers, the only ones in that class, and finishing in 26th overall. There is change though for Jonathan Jones and Jez Rogers. They finished the rally with 2nd in Class 4. This down to a retirement above them, but a good finish and the pace there nonetheless. The reason for that change though would be the loss of James Hutchings and James Hood. They go out when the drive shaft breaks on the Nova in stage 6. No drama for John Baker and Chris Whittle. They end the event with 20th on the leaderboard, a good result and enough for 2nd in Class 5. And there's no change for Heffin Lloyd Davies and Emir Hall. Their result this weekend sees them taking 3rd in Class 3 at the end of the rally. And there will be no change in that class for Kieran Darrington and Pamela Hilton either. The pair happy to settle with 2nd in Class 3 at the end of the rally after a trouble-free and steady run to the finish. Tim Keynes and Richard May had been a little off the pace in the morning stages. Not for any reason, but a change of setup in the afternoon put them back on the pace and moved them up the results to take 3rd in Class 6, 15th on the leaderboard. And despite the earlier problems with the dust, it will be a good finish for David Lloyd-Roberts and Di Jones, taking victory in Class 5 as well as 14th overall. Gary Smith and Andy Wynne managed 13th on the leaderboard at the end of the day, the pair coming away with 2nd in Class 6 in the process. And for Kit and Tim Lee, it would be a welcomed result, not only a finish, but a victory in Class 4 to top it off. The car behaving itself now and looking good for the remainder of the season. Craig Golder and John Kane gain a few places after this morning's loss of power from the manifold. They would end the rally just outside the top 10 in 11th, but that will be enough to take 3rd in Class 8 away with them this weekend. Rounding out the top 10 and with a great drive this weekend were Dave and Freddie Brick, fastest of the Class 3 runners all weekend. The victory was theirs, some good points to add to their championship. John Ballinger and Mike Wilding get through the morning's handling problems to take the Class 6 victory. The pair sitting just inside the top 10 in the Manta in 11th overall. Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey had a good run to take 8th place, a result that nets them 3rd in the N4 class here at the Nicky Grist stages. And 2nd in that class were Martin and Dawn England. Happy that the car was reliable now, and they were able to get 7th overall this weekend as well, so a promise of pace as well. An enjoyable rally as always for Wood Utting and Bob Stocko. The pair managed to end the rally with 6th place, taking 2nd in Class 8 in their Subaru here at round 6. Unfortunately, we lose Roland Llewellyn and Jamie Edwards. The long-time Group N leaders unfortunately crashing out on stage 7, putting an end to their fantastic charge here today. So that means it's Paul Davey and Roger Allen taking the Group N points this weekend, securing Davey's place at the top of the overall championship points after round 6. The new intercom was obviously working a treat for Peter Stevenson and John Connor. They end the rally with 4th, taking 2nd in the class after a rough and dusty event. It's another podium place for Dylan Davies and Leon Williams this weekend, leading the way in Class 8 to finish and, of course, take 3rd overall in the Impreza, putting them 3rd in the championship too. And 2nd this weekend will belong to Bob Keane and Andy Bull. The earliest spin out of the way, the pair could concentrate on the stages for the afternoon and maintain their pace for a good result, also keeping their 2nd place in the championship on track. But that means that it was a victory overall for Jamie Anderson and John Scott. The new car performing well and entertaining the spectators to boot this weekend. The pair making it 2 wins from the 3 rounds that they had competed on in the Welsh Championship, putting them joint 5th for the title after this round. So before we chat to our winners, here's a reminder of the overall results. Jamie, John, what a fantastic result today. Great stages to be coming away a winner in the Welsh Championship.
Yeah, they are. They're spectacular stages, really. Every year you come here, you seem to get faster and faster, and more eats the tyres away, I believe. But as a whole, the stages, they're some of the best in Wales, aren't they? Let's be honest. Some of the stages around here, they're fast, they're flowing, they're in good condition. Every time we come here, there's always a good pace set. You know, it's a good challenge.
John, it's been a long day for you, I suppose, but pretty hot in there, but the pace has just been so good from the start, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, the pace is starting to come now. I think it can only get better, really, as we go on. More time in the car is what we need, and yeah, fingers crossed we'll keep getting quicker.
Bob, Andy, this result sees you very nicely positioned in the championship table.
Yeah, it was what we were hoping to end up with, so can't complain at all. It's been a good day. With two more to go, bit in hand. Andy, of course, needs both of them as a scoring round, whereas I've got one in hand, so
fingers crossed we'll keep that together.
Andy, this is the sort of event you want to get maximum score on, is it? These iconic stages.
Yeah, I mean, we always go well here. I mean, every event in this area we do. The forests are fantastic, and all the clubs that run events here do a really great job. You know, I don't think we've ever come away having a bad day here. You know, even when it hasn't gone our way, you just come away and say, yeah, that was still a really good day.
Dylan, Leon, what a day for you. You've moved up in the points table as well.
Yeah, it's been a good day. We're here, one piece, best result of the year, so can't complain.
He said that he wanted to mix the consistency with some pace, and he's done that today.
Yeah, it seems to be getting there now slowly. The car seems to be working well at last. I think we've sorted all the problems out at the start of the year, so onwards and upwards now.
Can we see it the next round?
Yeah, definite.
So with 2 rounds left to go in the Welsh Rally Championship, Paul Davey leads the points. He's not on our podium, showing you just how key consistency is as well as pace, but take nothing away from these 3. What a great battle we've had here today on the Nicky Grist stages. Round 4 of the REIS Asphalt Rally Championship took place this weekend on Otterburn. And despite a wet start, the battle was a close one all day, the action as hot as ever. Simon Major managed to take the lead in the Metro, but the times at the top were close, with Damien Cole in the new Fiesta World Rally car, his closest rival at this stage. Steve Simpson's run of bad luck on Otterburn continued when a puncture lost him a few minutes midway through the day. His times likely to have seen him fighting for a podium. And the battles were not just at the top, with David Tin and Alex Laffey fighting between themselves for the final podium place. Tin just missing out with a puncture himself in stage 9. But it would be Simon Major who comes out on top at round 4, strengthening his season points and meaning there was every chance he could take the title on the next round in Wales.
The latest round of the Paceward MLR and WhiteLine22B.com Sprint Series headed north to Teesside Autodrome, and the karting track would provide the perfect mix of fast and technical sections for the crews. Things got off to a good start, with a number of crews mixing on times and the lead swapping hands throughout the practice and the start of the competitive runs. But disaster struck midway through the day when the heavens opened and the course suddenly became a lot slower. With the fastest time of the day being the one that counts, things were not likely to change. Some went out for fun, others bolted on some wets and kept trying, but things didn't change much, and it would eventually be Andy Hughes who came out on top with the fastest time of the day overall. You can catch coverage of this round of the championship on the 14th of August on Motors TV.
Now, because we spend a lot of our time on the rally stages, as do you, there is a good chance that you all week could come across an accident, either on the rally stage or on the road on the way to an event. Would you know what to do? I'm not sure that I would, but we've come down to Calder Rescue today, one of the UK's leading rescue teams for motorsport events, to find out with one of their first on-scene training events. We'll give you a few pointers. We'll speak to the people behind Calder Rescue about how you can get involved in one of these events and be the person that makes the difference. The first on-scene training that Calder Rescue provide is open to anyone, and as well as having a use on the stages, it can also be useful in everyday life, including travelling to and from rallies, of course. As well as the theory behind it and the knowledge you need to provide help at the scene of an accident, there are hands-on demonstrations. And while the tomato sauce may not be that convincing, the whole thing does give a good idea of what kind of things you could come across in a worst-case scenario situation. Richard, you're one of the men behind Calder Rescue and actually the founding member or the original member.
Yeah, unfortunately there was 4 of us. The other 3 got a life and moved on to stuff. I've still got this passion for motorsport and I'm still here.
And it is a passion, isn't it? Because what you're doing here is instilling people that didn't have any skills and wouldn't be able to help on a scene of an accident to be able to do things that could save someone's life. And that's what you're passionate about, isn't it?
Most certainly. I mean, everybody who's involved in motorsport, who likes motorsport, tries to put something into it. From my side of it, Motorsport Rescue, I've been doing it 30 years now, and I find I don't play golf, I don't even know about football, but motorsport I know a lot about. And if I can pass on my knowledge now, I started as a young lad, I'm now 62. I'm passing on my knowledge to others because I want the sport to continue and grow and continue to be safe.
Just tell us about a few of the things that we've been learning about today in this first on-scene training, and obviously we'll cut in with some of the images of everything that's going on.
Right. What we've done today, we've tried to get through to people, and everybody here now has the same skills, is able to do the same skills as my team is on the rescue unit. It's about reassuring people. The only reason we can go further is because we've got a van full of specialised equipment for helping people, for either medically or extricating them. But the main thing is, when somebody's injured, the last thing they want is to be left on their own. The reassurance of somebody that helps on the way, that we're trying to control if they're bleeding, they can control the bleeding now. They can assist them in many ways. They can assist them to stay warm, comfortable and conscious by talking to them. This is all important because when we get there 10 minutes later, the work that they've done pays lots. If they've intervened and kept that person either in a calm or, in its worst case, if they've done CPR for them, when we get there we can do more about it. And that's the whole thing. We're all part of a family in motorsport, and we're all trying to help and provide for each other.
It is perhaps a common misconception that marshals are always the first on the scene of an accident at a rally. And while that's true in many cases, or should be, first on scene could just as easily be a spectator, a member of the media, or a fellow competitor. And it could be those vital minutes that help to save someone's life. Now, a number of people can benefit from these first on scene training days, particularly competitors. Dave, you're a competitor. What do you do?
I am road rally, endurance rally, various.
So you could come across an accident like we've been talking about today on road rally, on the way to an event. How useful has today been for you?
Absolutely. I think it's been really useful from my point of view. I think anybody who has a competition licence should do this type of training because, as you say, you don't even have to be on an event.
So what have you got from today? I mean, you must have done training before, I'm sure, over the years when you're doing competitor events. But what have you got from today that you didn't know before?
It's really, I think it's a good refresher because it's to do with those sort of, when you're first on the scene and it's assessing the patient and just that reminder that actually it's the people who aren't making the noise, who are probably the people who are in the most trouble. So, yeah, just useful, run through the details, and it's quite interesting the way, the mocked up accident, that it actually brings it to life.
And of course, it isn't all classroom talks and boring stuff. The day includes its fair share of fun, with attendees able to get their hands on some of the specialist equipment, smash a few windows, and even cut the roof off a car. Some of our team getting a little enthusiastic when it came to those bits. Even the younger members of the special stage team were getting involved, and perhaps that's what these days are all about. Well, what an inspiring experience here at Calder Rescue. If you want to get involved in rallying, there's no better way than getting out on the stages as a marshal or perhaps joining one of these rescue crews. But start by going to one of these first on-scene training days, because these skills are things that we all should have, not just rally people. But if you come across an accident on the road, to know the first few things that you can do to help is very useful. Be a part of the solution. The changes are coming. The MSA is working very hard, and all the information is available on the Calder Rescue website and on the MSA's own website. And we'll see you out on the stages. Stay safe.
Five right flat in and 6 right continued over clear.